Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mike, aka Luna, and welcome to the lab. Especially welcome back if you tuned into the last gameplay review. I just want to say thank you to everybody off rip. I appreciate so much all the comments and the feedback, both positive and negative. It means the world to me. But enough of the past, let's get into PRAGMATA. The vibrance and excitement of PRAGMATA is really what creates such an alluring experience when it comes to the environment and the aesthetic. Without even getting into the gameplay mechanics, which for me is the carrying factor here and the strongest and most fun part of the whole experience, I gotta say, the world, the design, it's all rocking flawlessly in the RE engine. And I mean, you might be quick to draw some kind of comparison like Resident Evil in space, but no, this is a left field take. The energy is campy and fun, a little bit more emotional and theatrical. It's a focused, cinematic, linear action piece, and I hope that isn't too much of a mouthful. They all came at me with the AI slop last time. That's all cuff. So I'm here to wrap it out for y'all. And again, I must reiterate, this is just kind of the dressing on top. These are the curtains on the stage. Really, if I took this game and reduced it just to vectors, I think I could still have fun playing it. That's just how stimulating the moment-to-moment gameplay loop is and how confident the pacing of the game's design comes across. Now, the pacing is very straightforward, but it is very effective. You go through sequence combat encounters and arenas, going through, hacking, shooting, killing robots and AI, and then you go into a story beat sequence with a reset at kind of the hub world, in quotation, called the shelter in the game. I think it's a really good bite-sized session type game where, let's say, you're a pretty busy person. You can come through and play this in a week. It's a good, focused experience. It's going to be satisfying, and it's going to be something totally different. We've played third-person action shooters. We've played, like, Snake, Tetris. It is actually a unique little block game. I don't know if I've played the one-to-one copyrighted version of it. And on their own, we've seen them maybe played out and beaten to death in redundancy. But in combination, they create an experience that is arguably time dilating. You get locked into the hacking mini game, you're dodging simultaneously via your peripherals, you're swapping through the effectiveness of your weapons to really maximize your damage output. And although I wouldn't say this is a super accuracy or aim heavy shooter by any means, you could arguably not have any accuracy competency and still be totally successful at this game. It still has that element. And when it bridges all those together, you can also see the tuning is so well done that it's designed to keep your mind right on the cusp, keep your Cortal Frontex just firing at every instance that it can. The kind of experience that leaves you wanting to come back even when you're idling away from the game. You're thinking, damn, I can't wait to get back and nail that chain hack and just blow up some robots, man. And I gotta say, when you're looking at the gameplay footage, if you haven't played the game yourself yet or haven't watched a more in-depth review yet, that kind of claim might be tough to translate. But once you have the controller in your hands, it will absolutely click. And the high speed, intensity, the momentum of the hacking to the shooting, and it sounds almost corny and cliche, I'm hacking and I'm shooting, but no, they do it in a very polished and effective manner that keeps you wanting to dip back in. And as you dip in and out, there will be those sequences where you get a little bit of a breather from the high-octane hacking action. And I definitely appreciate that. There is a little bit of your own kind of build crafting that goes on in between levels. You'll be stopping off at the shelter. You'll be upgrading your gear. You can invest in different mods. The customization is actually decently extensive without being overwhelming and also being what you might even argue optional to a point if you wanted to beeline through it. I did try my best to experiment with as many different upgrades and options as I could, but I thought, the progression was very well paced and rewarding just for exploring the levels on the main path, but also incentivizing diverting to the side content. And so I'm trying to be pretty reserved about the story and the plot in this video. I think it's worth it to actually experience it yourself if you're gonna play the game. And I would say maybe it's a story that if you're not gonna play it, wouldn't really have that much weight or gravity. But that's not to be a disservice to it. I think the performances are very well done for Hugh and Diana, and they capture the chemistry of the characters really well. And, you know, it just adds a little extra flair and immersion because, you know what, you are the one entity controlling it, but it's two characters happening, and I think they do a good job bringing them to life.
Do humans really need to eat more than once a day? Your energy efficiency doesn't seem good.
Sure, that's fair. But sharing a meal is more than just recharging.
Even if I will say I have a few criticisms maybe at certain points in the writing that come off of maybe a little bit cringy, corny, or uncomfortable.
I'm sorry.
But I'll reserve those criticisms as well, as it might have been more intentional to kind of portray the characters and a certain emotional effect. So maybe that's actually credit to the writers that it made me feel that way. But again, overall, the entire production and the experience of the story is like a focused featured film with the nice padding of a game around it, akin to maybe the Gen 7 type vibes, you know, a more classic, straightforward action adventure game. But again, not to say it's redundant or without its own unique aspects that it's bringing to the table. To break down the performance, it's going to be short and sweet, as they did a fantastic job with this game. It's a super lightweight game as well, only clocking in about 33 gigabytes on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and it runs fantastically, smooth 60 FPS, running at seemingly perfect 4K due to the enhancements of the PSSR 2.0. And from the weeks since launch, they have been consistently rolling out some updates for the PSSR 2 to enhance that performance as well. And now, I don't want to take anybody else's riff. This is not a before you buy channel, but I do think that is a pretty important element of any review, is like, what is the actual value to you? There's a million games that you could buy right now, and every new game is asking for a pretty hefty penny. And although I had a lot of fun playing Pragmata, and I did buy this off rip, if you took notes earlier, I did say the main story, even kind of enjoying myself, took me about 8 hours. Now, that isn't all the game has to offer. There are multiple options for replayability once you've seen the credits roll. There's a new game plus option. You can start again with all your enhancements and upgrades. You have an epilogue type sequence, the unknown signal, which is kind of a mastery detour where you're gonna have to go through everything again and fight every boss at a more powerful version, a 2.0. And these can definitely add on some time for that. I didn't do all that. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to front on you and say I did 100% of everything for this. I got to the end of the game and I saw the credits roll and I had a great time with it. I did do some post research and I said, okay, yeah, there is, you know, another little Easter egg unlock to happen if you're going to go through and play the unknown signal, which is dope and is an incentive for people who are enjoying the game to not feel like you're being cheated by the 8 or 9 hour mark you might get when you finish it. Again, I am an advocate for this game as the quality is really, really high, and I think it was absolutely worth that $60 for me. And for people who enjoy a focused, complete experience that you're gonna play start to finish, front to back, and close the book on, but you can also keep it on the shelf, and anytime you want to take it off and, you know, go through one of your favorite chapters, it's gonna be there. I think this game really hits that mark and is absolutely worth it. So I definitely do recommend to all my dogs out there who are looking for a game, pick up Pragmata or throw it on your wish list. If you're not trying to get it right now, keep it on your radar. I wouldn't let this one fall off. Thank you for joining me. This is Luna's Lab. I mean, I'm not gonna do the outro yet. I'm doing a fake outro, but that's the end of the Pragmata video. Now we're gonna be in Riff City. Yo, all right, so welcome to Riff City, where I'm not gonna redo the take, and I apologize if there's any buts or us. You can check out for now. But I just want to say again, thank you for real that you were watching the video, sticking down with it. And I'm sorry if you've been hearing my creaky chair in the background. I'm gonna try and edit that out, mix that out as best I can. But yo, I mean, it was mad fun making this. Riffing on it was a little different. I took a totally different approach. I kind of meditated on this review a little bit. I tried to kind of pack it down a little bit, you know, keep a little more concise. In this game right here, I mean, I'm not trying to be lingering from any of the feedback I got on the last one. But this game I straight up had mad fun with. You know, I'm only here trying to give you a real opinion and a breakdown. Like, I like mad games type shit. I mean, I think that was a fun question I got on my last video, which is like, what kind of games do you like? Maybe in the future I could do a fun tier list type video or something, break down all my favorite games all time. I don't need to riff on you too long about the history of every video game that I love. But here's a positive review. And I mean, maybe that can give you a little bit of a sense of like where my mindset is. But again, to me, I'm all about, what's the bang for my buck when I'm spending time in front of my console or in front of my screens? Like, what am I doing? Is this really worth the user experience? There's a lot of experiences that you can mess around with. I'm just trying to out here, one, represent my favorite. Two, I love creating videos, audio, music. I love the whole production process. So just getting to have an outlet to put it together and kind of bring all those things into one space and sphere, it's just mad fun. And everybody who's here jamming with me, I really appreciate it. Maybe, I'm hoping in the future I can kind of evolve the channel a little bit. So, I understand if maybe some of the things seem a little rudimentary or getting to the point type shit, but like, it's all a building process, and that goes for all other creators and shit, and same if, you're interested in any kind of collaborative effort or something, not to say make gaming videos with me, but like technical production things that if, you want to reach out, we got the Discord channel. If you go check out the link on the page, feel free to drop in the Discord and say hi, what up, hello, or drop a comment down below, man. I'm absolutely gonna say hi. You know what I mean? I really did appreciate everybody who was dropping in and had something in depth to say, man, because some people had such a different experience with the game. Like, do you hate Pragmata? Did you have the worst time ever playing this game? Because if you did, I do want to hear about it, because I had the best time playing this game. So it's like, I think that's the fun part of it too. Every game is its own thing, but we can all have such a different time with it type shit. You make it your own. It's your own instance of it. So that's enough riffing. Hopefully you caught the vibe. If you stayed for the end, dog, big ups and shit, big hearts. I don't know what to say. I love you. Nah, I'm kidding. I don't love you. But one love, and I really appreciate you joining me on the channel today. If you got any other games maybe you want to see get reviewed in the future, I know Sorrows just came out. I was curious about getting that. Admittedly, I have played a good amount of Returnal, and I'm not sure the Sorrows review will be that original, but I am pretty curious. I heard it's balling out on the PlayStation 5 Pro. If you want to see any Sorrows, you could drop that in the comment below. And hopefully I made a fun little animation for this. If I didn't do a fun little animation for this outro riff, I think I'll just let some gameplay play of Pragmata, so you could just get a little vibe of, a little extensive scene or some shit. And I mean, bless up. Luna's Lab, The Observatory, peace.
X.